Hey there, and welcome to Speak English with Christina, where you'll have fun becoming fluent in American English. I'm your English coach, Christina, and let me ask you something. When you have to do a presentation in English, maybe at a scientific congress or a business conference, how much time does it take to prepare your presentation? Probably more than you'd like. Well, today you'll learn how to save time and create a better presentation in English. Let's go. In my career, I've presented at dozens of international conferences. Isn't it exciting to share your research and your results with colleagues? But it takes so long to prepare the presentation. For a 30-minute talk, maybe you spend weeks or even months preparing. Plus, it's in English, so you take more time than in your native language. Let me share with you some techniques that I use to save time preparing presentations. The first thing is to look into the logistics. Who are you presenting to? What is the key message that you want them to remember? And why is this important to them? In fact, I would even recommend writing this at the top of your notes before you even start planning your presentation. This will guide you to help you focus and avoid trying to include too much information, which we're probably all guilty of, at least me. There's a quote that we attribute to Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend 4 hours sharpening the axe. Basically, when you have to do something, it's worth investing the time in preparing so the real action is easier, quicker, and more efficient. Now, we're not cutting down trees, but the idea still works. Don't rush to create your PowerPoint slides. Get a good old pen and paper or note cards and brainstorm the ideas that you want to include in your presentation. Organize your ideas coherently and make sure that the information flows logically. Maybe even ask a colleague to look at your outline and see if it seems logical. But spend maybe 15% of your presentation preparation time just on organizing your ideas, and it'll save you time in the next steps. Yes, write your script. A lot of times you might hear advice like, don't write your script, or just write notes. I think in my 14 years of coaching clients, 99% of them say that they write scripts. Honestly, if it helps you to write a script, do it. But notice I said write a script, not read a script. This is just part of your preparation to make you feel confident before your presentation. Plus, if you write a script, you can send it to a colleague or an English coach so they can help you correct any mistakes or offer advice on clear organization. Another advantage of writing your script, you can see where the transitions are. And when you're doing your presentation, it's important to use signposting language, the expressions that clearly indicate transitions. You'll seem organized, confident, and your audience will follow your ideas more easily. After you're comfortable with your script and the organization of your ideas, practice. Read your script out loud a few times to get the feel of the presentation. Of course, the day of your presentation, you won't read your script, but for now, it's okay. You're preparing. So read it out loud. Stand up and pretend you're giving your presentation. If your ideas feel disconnected and your transitions are awkward, change them. Eliminate anything that makes your presentation hard to follow and practice again. In fact, this practice round 1 should take about 25% of your total preparation time. Finally, you can play with PowerPoint. Woohoo! Fonts, colors, backgrounds. Sorry, I get excited about creating presentations sometimes. But now that you're sure of your message, ideas, and structure of your talk, it's time to create your slides. This is me pretending to work at a computer. Anyway, notice that creating the slides is one of the last steps because you're pretty sure of what you're going to say now, so you don't waste time creating slides that you don't need. And here's a tip to make your transitions smooth. Create transition slides. For example, put in big print the exact transition phrase that you'll say on one slide, and on the next slide, the main subject of the next part of your talk. And it'll look like this. Now, let's move on to the difficulties scientists have to present in English. It adds clear structure for your audience. It adds a bit of suspense as you transition. And for you, you're sure to get the phrase and the transitions right. So, fire up your PowerPoint and let's make some slides. Now that you have your slides, it's time to practice again, several times, in fact. And this time without your script. The idea here is to progressively reduce your complete script to just enough notes to guide you in your presentation. You can add notes in the presenter notes part of the PowerPoint or use index cards. Just remember to put numbers on them. This way, if you drop your cards, it's easy to put them in the correct order. And this is your final practice round before your talk. And by round, I mean, it might be several days of practicing a few times a day. Like practice round 1, this second practice round should also represent about 25% of your entire preparation time. So yes, that means that 50% of your entire preparation time is dedicated to practicing, because that's the best way to be sure that you sound good speaking English. Practice, practice, practice. Now, what about you? How often do you give presentations in English? Tell us about a presentation that you did in the past in English, because it'll be interesting to see what you're an expert in. So share it with us in the comments. And to better understand Americans' accent when they ask questions at the end of your presentation, get my American Accent Survival Kit. You'll start to better understand Americans when they speak fast, thanks to a full comprehension and pronunciation lesson, plus a worksheet to test your comprehension. Just click the image below. And thanks for watching Speak English with Christina. I'll see you next time.